Alright, we are live. Sit there. Alright, there we go. We got some cleaning to do today. We got the broom out. I've been just basically moving shit from one spot to another. What's going on, my friend? Stutter. What's going on, buddy? I appreciate you stopping by. We're cleaning up a little bit. Got the broom in the hand. Trying to get the place tidied up a little bit. G'day, Keith. What's going on? Weirdos. What's up, my friends? Yeah, I got a broom in my hand right this second. I'll show you what we're working on here. We are. Put this down here. I can get to it. There we go. So I've moved all of this. I've moved that. I've got this wheel over here. I got shit everywhere. We're trying to. I got some damn pond shield on the freaking floor. And it's, I don't know, gooey. So I have a little, just thinking about maybe putting a little rubbing alcohol. I don't care about the floor really. Well, let's let that sit on that goo for a second. So I have an issue getting this fucking thing out of here. I think I'm gonna have to take it apart. That's gonna be fun. Or I'll just fucking cut the damn thing in half with the sawzall. But the problem is that it was sitting here and I can't, well, at the time I had moved this. So if I could get this out of the way, I could probably. You want to see Cooter and Scooter? Yeah, you can see Cooter and Scooter. Sorry, I probably should do a walk around real quick. We've been messing around all day, or all yesterday, all today. Hey, look at this Digger. Digger's out. What's up, Dig? Looking good, buddy. Looking good. I'd like to get him over here underneath this slab. Thinking I'm gonna get. Probably gonna have to. I've seen him over here bathing in the sun before, but not too often. He's usually right here. So what I'm thinking is I'm just gonna get another T5 and hook it right here. Give him that light there. See how crystal clear that water is. He's at the bottom too. He's pretty close to all the way in at the bottom. That's Cooter. I don't see Scooter right this second. Cooter's back there. Oh, there she is. Hiding. So there's only one pump in this system, and that pump is sitting right over there. If you're new, no filtration. The creek is the filtration. So what we do is we're trying to build biology in the creek up to the point where we don't need any other types of filters. We do have biochar bags, and I've been, since the crash that happened, so we did crash the system. Since the crash, I just added in this nitrate pad. What is that there? Is that a snail? Oh no, it's just a rock. There's a snail right there. Little creek snails. So you can see that catching a little bit, but most everything else is just caught by these roots. And then us coming through and shaking it out, trapping it in that, and yeah, the algae is what we're growing back. And we killed off all the algae when we turned the white lights off and turned the red lights on. So our ivy is actually crossed over. You can see all the snails that pile up on the chemipure bag. And that's what keeps that chemipure bag mesh from clogging up. Really helps out a lot. They help out a lot, but you can see the algae starting to grow back. And this is our filter. So the algae that grows on the rocks catches the poo, and then we transfer that into the soil. And we just keep doing that over time. If you see, we've been digging, so we disconnected the creek, and you only got it connected in a few spots. Right here, over there, we disconnected here, we disconnected all the way around there, and the reason we did that is because we were wicking way too much water from when we added. So when we crashed the system, we had to basically do a water change, then we had to add food for the worms to the edge, which basically is just the sand and silt. So we replenish the sand and silt in the creek in certain areas. So by doing that, we raise the water table up, which wicks more water through the sand and silt because we've added more sand and silt. Without removing it, we added it and we raised the water table. And this rock used to be above water. All right. Now that we added all that fresh sand and silt and everything, that raised the water table up, that wicks more water that the plants can handle, and we end up with overwatered soil. We end up with water in our trap hole, which is filling up. So the soil only holds so much, and then it'll release it down into our E horizon, which, if you've been following, these beds are built in a soil horizon. And that means that we've got the same stuff that's in the creek and in the pond is at the bottom of the bed. So underneath all this soil, there's a layer of clay to separate soil from all the sand and silt and pea gravel that we layered underneath this bed. So all the water that's wicked up by the sand and the pea and the silt, all this, look at that worm casting right there. So that's just a mound of worm cast. That's where worms have gone in and mined all this sand and silt and pushed it up. You see this outdoors a lot. Little mounds of worm castings pushed up out of the ground. These are rich. This is rich. I'm talking like top of the line. You put this under a microscope, you're going to see cycling. You're going to see nutrient cycling at its finest. There's a slug. There's a slug shit in there too. So that's just diversity. and I mean, it is unbelievable. So this is connect. This is what plants over time are going to eventually have access to, and their roots will grow to this. They just naturally will. They know where the water's at. What happens is that I build too much of this sand and silt, and I wick too much water, which ends up going through the system, but it'll end up in our trap hole over there, and that'll fill up, but that'll then get to a certain level where you either have to suck it out, which I have a pump. I just sit down there and pump it out. It's clean water, so you can usually pump it right back. I don't pump it back into the pond. That water, though, will dry up, or we can simply remove the sand and silt, which is what we did. You can see that we just took it from the rock. So all of this was just anything that's connected from here, where the water's down here, it wicks water all up. This turns into mud. It's all worm castings. It used to be sand and silt. You can see it in it, but the worms have just ran through it so much, turning it into worm castings, and then worm castings over time get saturated, they break down and clog up, turn to mud, anaerobic, and anaerobic is no good. Then by me turning the red lights on, killing off all my algae that was catching all that too, it was just a chain reaction, and we lost the system. We had to do a complete reset, and by doing a complete reset, we raised the water table up, but now we've got it back, and the algae is back, and this string algae is photosynthetic. So it reacts to light. It actually creates oxygen, but it also acts as a filter. So now that we've got the oxygen cycle going back in the pond or in the creek by the biology, by the purple non-sulfur bacteria that lives along the edges, deep in the muck, that's helping cycle, get things back in balance. It's pretty cool to watch the grass come back. This grass over here is, we're removing the dead stuff, but it's just going to take, it took me 1.5 years to build. It took me like 2-3 weeks to crash, to just kill it all. So that's how nature is. When you play like this, I expect shit like this. This is why, it was such a great experience too, to be able to recover from a crash and get it on video. And the only way we were able to do that is by getting in touch with people who are smarter than me, or smarter than, who I was, what I've been learning. I was just like, I was so grateful to be, in touch with Mo. That's why over at Mo at I Grow Soil, it was just a blessing. If I hadn't reached out to him, I kind of knew what I was doing, but I didn't understand what the red light was doing. And once we researched that deep red, when it comes to creek biology, now I know we're forgetting about the cannabis, where the cannabis needs, some of that deep red in the morning and in the evening. I just turned the white off. So the blue and the white, I had that way down in these Grandmasters, and I had the reds too high up for too long. And I did that for, you got to remember, this is five cycles. So this was the 5th cycle, and it took 5 cycles for it to actually catch up and really, in the 5th cycle, this time I really hit it with red. So, and I'd been seeing it, but I just didn't put 2 and 2 together. That it was, and I was like, the red light is killing off my algae. And that's all I was thinking about. All I was thinking about was like, okay, well, it's not that big of a deal. Not realizing that the algae is like one of the biggest things we can have in this system. This is like life. This is food for everything. Like the worms love it, the critters love it. This, I can set that right there. I guarantee you it will be gone by this afternoon. And all that goodness that's trapped in there, from the fish, from the turtles, all that biology, ends up right back in the soil. It's being transferred over. It's being wicked up through the sand and silt. It's quite, there's a shrimp. Now I've seen them in the pond. They all like move to the pond. I guess that's where the cleanest water is, but they are moving back because the algae is starting to create that oxygen that they need. They'll sit up in that algae. Oops. They'll sit right up in that algae. They love it. They pick that poo. They're poo pickers. You know what I mean? And they're gangsters too. I ain't gonna lie. The shrimp are like one of my favorites. They're like all shrimp, man. I love fucking shrimp. In my saltwater aquarium, the shrimp were badass. In freshwater, they're badass. Nobody fucks with the shrimp. The shrimp will gang up on you. They're fast as lightning. But they are little gangsters. This is a... Oh, that's just a rock. I thought that was a dead isopod. It's not. It's just a rock. See this piece of glass? We have that jar sitting there. There's no bottom. You can see grass growing up through the jar to the light. This grass inside the jar never died. Ain't that wild? Even when the algae wasn't growing on the edge of the glass. It always stayed, like somehow the glass maybe was stopping, or maybe it was just, dulling that red from the dirt on the, not letting that red get in there. And I don't know. I'm just guessing. Here's an isopod hotel. Y'all want to see them where they breed at? This is I found this when I was digging. I was pulling all this sand and silt away from the edge. You can see I disconnected completely. Just going to let it dry out some. It'll only wick to here. It will not continue over if we disconnect. So that's my valve. So if I'm wicking too much water and I get too much in my hole over there, I simply have to, I know that it's been built up too much. So now I need to disconnect, pull some of that off in certain areas. Only allow it to wick, like around the plants, really. Everything else needs to be removed and let it dry out a little bit. And it will dry out. But, oh, the hotel. This is where they're getting it on down here. Unless I messed them up. But freaking dairy cow isopods. They're building that little home down there. They're building that little castle. They love around these grass roots. They love it. Yeah, they get it on alright. Give me this thing. Digger's gonna get a nice spot. Chopped up some sweet potato that I had sitting on there. Where'd you go, Dig? He's all the way up in his hole now. Oh well. Let's see if we can get Hooter's attention. Oh, he didn't want it. Something will end up getting it. You know what? Now that I haven't fed them in like 4 days. Might have been 5 days. I don't feed them every day. We're going to get to this in a minute. We got a lot going on. Got the VHU running. I haven't hooked it up yet. So what we'll do is we'll raise this up get this hole in line with this hole right here. We may even come up a little more with some rock to cover the dehu, like that one over there. You know, the jasmine covers that. You don't see it. You can see the line running to the back. Just dumping dehu water into the topping off. So here's our hole. It probably needs to be a little bigger, but we're just going to run a line out here. But for now, we're just, it's empty right now. She's set at 65 on low. Cuts on and off. I mean, last night it filled up to about here. With that one running and this one, it stays like perfect. I mean, it's like 60% humidity in here right now, where I got 65. I mean, it's around. It was 63 earlier when I came in. You can see the pump. You can see how much water we lost last night. About 24 hours. It looks like we've been, and that's what happens. It's going to splash out. We got splash zone here. We got some splash zone over there. So it's going to be evaporating a lot of water because of all the turbulence. So we do have to add water and what the plants are going to be pulling up, but the dehu tops off quite a bit. We may have to add a couple of gallons every other day, but the dehu dumps in most of it. So we need to get this out of here. What am I doing here? I'm growing food here. Yesterday's video we planted seeds, so I've got some candy onions. I got this is some okra. I think that's okra. We got cucumber, a little trellis. I got some lima beans. Got some asparagus. Got some Brussels sprouts, purple carrots. I think these are purple carrots, and then I've got some more carrots over here, and I think what was that? Oh, peas. Yeah, sweet peas. So when those hopefully pop, we will. I got tomato over here. I got my herb garden's going to be up here in the splash zone. Got some basil going up here right now. Yep. Woo! That basil tastes like pizza, baby. Almost. Italian. I feel like I'm in an Italian restaurant. Hey, what's going on? South Africa. Nice. Yeah, we got some shit going on up in here. You know, it's just me fucking around. Tried to build something that we can grow year-round in. I can grow flower year-round. I can grow pretty much anything I want year-round. We're gonna play with the time frame on the lights, because, you know, the lights are the most important thing. So we're running one of the most important things. We pretty much run the show. We got these Grand Masters LEDs. These are the new ones. These are the old ones. Save 10% with discount code Yellow Skunk. And APSU Living Soil, APSUsoil.com is sponsoring it. So that's cool. Got this Monstera leaf, this new one coming. This one here is 3 feet. And, I mean, yeah, it's like It's like a little person here. I mean, literally, it's 34 inches, 35 inches from there to there. It's crazy. That one under there ain't much smaller than over there. And then this big one here is freaking pumping out another one. This is Digger's hideout over here. Digger will have full access to the new grow. Right here we can remove this rock here actually. I'm just using that to hold that soil in. So what we're going to do is bridge. I'm just going to fill this with soil. Have this all the way up, soil all the way up to here. He won't be able to get over here to get out. But he'll be able to get in here. We'll probably put a little some more rock here and here just to make a lip where he can't climb out. We don't want him to climb out of the grow. Here's our trap hole for this garden. I don't think you can see, yeah, you can see the floor. You can see a little bit of sand. You see that clay layer. You can see the soil on top of that. And you see the floor. So if it fills up too much, here's our trap hole over here. We got water down there. Hey, how you doing? So when that fills, normally there's no water there when we have plants in here. So when we got the cannabis in here this big, there's no water. It's dry as a bone down there because they're wicking it all before it gets there. So it's like a perfect amount. But since we added all that fresh silt and everything, we're wicking too much. What the plants can't handle runs down into this trap hole down there. We'll fill up, make sure that it separates the. If I was going to put water in, if I had to water, I would water right here at the bottom, just like an earth box. Same principle. I'm just separating the soil with clay, with about 2-inch layer of clay, red clay. Same principle of an earth box. All you got to do is separate soil from water. And we do that with this sand and silt. So this is fresh. This is what it looks like when you bring it in. This is what it turns into when the worms get done. And all the critters turns to worm castings. Alright? So the trick here is, and this is a big trick. Trick is keep those worm castings. Worm casting, when it comes out the worm's ass, it's a nugget. It's a ball. Almost perfectly round, but sometimes they're more like a pill. You know what I mean? And those little balls, pills stack. When they stack, boom, 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 you get air channels. All right, and then you get other critters like the isopods and all the other springtails, ropey, all these things are running through these things, creating air channels. Especially when there's fresh silt here, and especially when there's a lot of dissolved oxygen being wicked up out of the creek, all right, into this worm casting. So this is where everything likes to hang out. Everything wants to hang out by the freaking creek. Worms, isopods, okay? This is where everything wants to be, on these rocks, where that biology, where all that bacteria is. Look at that earwig, how big that earwig is. See how he goes down in there? He's creating air channels. And they're always under a rock, because they want to be hidden, and it's very easy to work underneath there and create that. That's why, setting a rock on there is so beneficial. Especially in a system like this, or even outdoors in a pot. You set a rock beside there, that biology is going to come up from the bottom. It's going to mine all that. It's going to tap into that rock and start mining, and start working. The bacteria, all the way to the microbial and fungal. This shit goes deep, man. If you can go into the quantum realm here, we don't have to water. That's for sure. We are not watering the bed at all. We are actually removing, I'm like turning the spigot down simply by removing all of that. You see, I removed it yesterday. Disconnecting, so I basically just shut the valve off from wicking. Yeah, that was the whole point. I can run year round, and I can build biology in the soil year round. Like I'm in the tropics here all the time, but I'm not. I can maintain my environment with my mini split and a couple of pumps and fans and the lights, and that's it. Like most even cannabis grows in a damn tent run a whole lot more than that. My DHUs, but I'm not hardly pulling any power with the lights. I mean, these Grandmasters are no joke. They're 4 channeled, so I'm running 30% total. I'm running 184 watts per light. All right, so I'm running what? Under 600 watts right now on this one. On the other one over there, I'm under 300 because I don't even have them turned on to like 12%. But I'm only running 1 channel. I had all the rest turned off. Just running that cool blue because the algae grows great. Everything seems to just perk up with that blue and green light. This next channel is the warm white, so that adds a little bit more of that orangey green, red spectrum to it. You can see the spectrum down here. That's not what you can see it. That's not. I'm not that high in the red right now, but you can see the blues and the greens, yellows. When I bring in the warm white, I'm bringing in more yellows and orange. You can see there, leaving off the other 2 channels. This is red and that's deep red. So the far red, excuse me. The far red goes, that's what's, when we get up into these high freaking wavelengths, get up into those high, tight wavelengths, that red crushed the damn algae. I mean, just burn it up. And that set off a chain reaction. But nuked the system. But we caught it quickly because I lost Shiner, I lost the fish. That was my first. And I was like, oh, he's just old. But then I saw the grass starting to yellow, and I was like, oh shit. Now we're starting to see it come back green. All around the edges. And the algae starting to come back. We just raised the water table up a little too high. It was wicking too much water. See the overhang here. Look at the overhang where I disconnected. So as long as it ain't touching, we're good. Appreciate everybody showing up. Appreciate everybody hanging out. All the comments. Appreciate it. Sorry if I missed any questions. Let me go back. Yeah, we're trying. We're trying to build that shit. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. You know. Good luck sleeping at night when you turn that damn pump on for the first time. I'll tell you that. Tell you that. This one over here, shit. My wife will tell you, I came inside. It was not easy dialing in that water. I mean, I flooded this motherfucker so many times. I've ripped this whole thing apart 7 different times. Basically just putting in sand and silt and pee in the creek, turning it on, and it just would flood. Boom, flood, flood, flood. I was just like, how is this flooding so much? And then I realized that it was just wicking that much water. Like I had too much sand and silt along the edges, and I was just pulling massive amounts of water over. As soon as I removed it all, turned the water on, got no water in the hole. As soon as I added silt to the edge and to the center, got water in the hole. So that immediately told me that there's my valve. That's what I was thinking. I was like, there's my on and off switch. If I get too much water, I just disconnect. If I need more water on a certain spot, I just add sand and silt, and voila. Got more, get way more. Nice, good deal, Runs. I wish you luck. It's like I said, yeah, there's not a lot of room if you're going to build something like that, especially when you're dealing with concrete. If you're not willing to take a jackhammer to it, you might not want to start, because that's trial and error is going to happen. That's just how I went into this, knowing I was going to be pissed off, knowing that there was a lot of hurdles and a lot of problems to solve. But I also knew that I'd put myself in touch with a lot of intelligent people, and once I built it, I knew that, really smart, intelligent people would be interested in what's going on here. And if I did get in trouble, it's all about knowing why I got in trouble, so I don't repeat it. You know what I mean? Like, once I get in trouble, knowing why I got in trouble is the most important thing. If you don't know why, you can't solve the problem. You're just guessing. And when you don't have to guess, you can dial it in, you know what the problem was, and boom, you can get right back into action. It takes time. This is not a overnight thing. If you've ever built an aquarium, you'll know that it takes time to build. And I'm not talking about just setting up. I'm talking about like building the biology to run the tank. The sub-tank takes time to set up and build, and there are lots of things you can do to speed the process up nowadays. Knowing the right biology is key, like the lactic acid bacteria, the purple non-sulfur bacteria, all these photosynthetic bacteria, like Microbes Plus is great. Brandon, most of you guys know Brandon from Full Crop Science, and he puts it right on the bottle. See that? Photosynthetic bacteria. And we know what that means. That means that it eats light. It's in the simplest form. It's the same thing. So as long as we put the right light on it, it'll eat it and turn it into food, and then everything else, we're just making carbon. We're building carbon here. It's all about, energy and carbon. And if you can dial these things in with the environment, you can pretty much do anything you want. You're going to have problems, guaranteed, but being able to solve that, and see, and then know what to do. And in an aquarium world, in a freshwater aquarium world, everybody knows that if you get in trouble, first thing you do is at least a quarter or three-quarter, or not three-quarter, but at least a quarter to a half water change. And then wait a day, maybe 2 days, and then do another water change, maybe a quarter. And then depending on how much you do that until you've done a complete water change over the course of a week. If you don't want to do it all at once, you will, what's left there will, then you'll really crash out. But you want to keep a lot of the good that's there. This is all about good and bad, yin and yang. You need to balance the system. And that biology, that photo, once we put light on it, we put the right light on it, especially with the T5 here, the heat lamp, and the blue. I mean, you see, freaking crystal clear. No filter. With 2 fucking turtles, thank you very much, and a big ass goldfish. And 2 turtles, if you know anything about freaking turtles, they're shitting machines. They produce a lot of ammonia. If we're not turning that, we don't have the right biology to turn that into nitrates, then you're gonna be in trouble real fucking fast. Oh yeah, Digger don't shit over here though. Digger shits over here. I'm talking about in the water. Like, this is all about cycling that water. It's got to flow. It's got to flow through the right type of biology. And we need this algae growing that we had lost. Catch that poo before it gets back into the pond. And then this is food for this. So that, it's a cycle. We just have to steward it. That's all we have to do. We got to steward. We just got to learn how to steward. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm learning what I can and can't do. Over time, things are constantly changing. You know what I mean? Changing over and over and over. Building and building, wicking more water, more and more and more. And then to a point where it'll just overtake and we crash. So we just have to see it building, we have to see the signs. There will be signs. Grass is usually the first to go. The yellowing of the grass, yellowing of the bush. You know, all these things are signs that we are suffocating. It's not a nutrient problem. We know that. We've got the newts in there. There's enough sand and silt and worm cat. There's enough newt in this bed to last forever, my lifetime. It's just got to be broken down. It's got to continue to cycle in that microscopic world. And in that microscopic world is a fine line of water. Like we can keep around 70-80% water and not flood the system and keep that good biology going where it's photosynthetic and it's creating oxygen in the water, which is that oxygen then transfers into the soil through the wicking. Everything just takes off and goes crazy, taps into that. Like these empress trees were on their way out. They were turning yellow. Now they're going back green. You can see kind of that they were all turning that really lime green. Now they're getting darker green again. So that's good. The bush was starting to get lime green. But now that's coming back. All this is just new growth, really. Pick this off. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I moved this rock. Yeah. And there's more. That's just what you see right there. You put this under a microscope, and you're going to see a whole lot more. Hold on, let me look at the diversity down here. And just on this rock. There's a springtail right there. Trapped. He's trapped in a worm. I can't get out. What the hell? I'm trying to get back. That's hilarious. Look at the springtails down there. Mite right there. That one springtail. He's still trying to get out from around that worm. You can get it right here. Nope. Other way, you idiot. It's like, what the fuck? Oh, there he goes. He went over. He finally figured out he could go over. There you go. Look at them. Springtails galore. Those are nutrient cyclers. That's what they do. They're excellent. Look at the brown. The deeper we go, the more we see. You put this under a microscope and it would be insane. So these are my workers. The more guys we get like this, the better off we'll be. No fungus gnats. Those springtails right there, they eat fungus gnats. They eat fungus gnat larvae, excuse me. They eat fungus gnat larvae. So they eat fly larvae. They eat all kinds of fucking shit. They break down organic matter. Just like they break down that worm casting even more. You know what I mean? So you think a worm casting is good for plants. Wait till the springtails and then the biology and all the things that are in the worm casting start breaking down the worm casting, releasing those nutrients to the plant. So all of it's just a cycle. So you just got to think of it as a shit cycle. It's a shit loop is all it is. And the more diversity in shit you have,
better off, there's the earwig coming in the pig, in the picture. Yeah, the more diversity in shit you have, the more diverse biology you have in the soil, the more nutrient cycling you have, the more it's available to your plant. Period. So this is just one part of the system. The lights provide the energy for these guys to do their job. So if it wasn't for the plants taking the light, turning it into sugars and carbohydrates and all these other things, and then transferring that down into the soil to feed these guys, none of this is possible without that power. That light source, that sun, you know what I mean? Sun is the source. So in here, these guys are my sun. And the cool part is I can adjust my sun and I can play with it. And when you play with the sun, you get burned. And I burned myself. I burned a lot of my workers. And yeah, we got them back though. We learned a valuable lesson. This is my Joshua tree. Yeah, if you don't know, my name's Josh. Well, Joshua, but I go by Josh. And this, my wife gave me. She brought this seed back from Grand Canyon. Her and my sisters went out to Vegas and went out to the Grand Canyon and brought me some Joshua seeds. So I had to plant one. And this has been in here for like a year now. And they are slow growers. But it's growing nonetheless. And I got it in a pot because Joshua tree is a desert plant. So you understand. We got some danglers over here. We got the this goddamn thing here. That's the pink jasmine. So the pink jasmine we use for stringing along the rock wall. So the rock wall's here. You really can't see it because of the jasmine. But the jasmine starts here, over here in this corner. We've got some English ivy going over here. That's all the way hitting the creek now. So this is like our little cubby hole over here. You can see how deep it goes. But look at the worm castings over here where nobody fucks with it. You can see the water line. The creek is over there. It wicks that water. I don't ever come over here and touch it. And look how wet it stays. You can see the water line right there. That's how far it wicks. This is that lucky bamboo. That's what that is. Like a piece of corn now. We started off that down here with this piece right here. And they sprouted that and came on up to that. And the roots are in the creek. You can see the roots over here under the rock. So it drops in, you can see the water over there. Hits that grass, those grass roots, which a lot of that poo is trapped right in there. That grass takes care of it. And it comes on around, runs through these roots, goes on down past the dog fennel. So I was going to remove this dog fennel, but I just decided to disconnect, around here. Over here, through there. It's wicking a lot of water through here. This is the raspberry deadhead from Luna Whitcomb. Very nice flower. Starting to bulk up pretty nicely. I mean, the leaves are, definitely got overwatered. We definitely hit, this is from the crash. But All in all, the flowers look, I mean, they smell amazing. Terps are off the chain. Very, almost soury, sour fruit almost. It's like a raspberry OG, raspberry deadhead. But we're just letting them dangle. Look at them dangling. Fucking free balling, baby. I'm just letting them dangle to let that light get to that middle. Got a couple of lines here. My shit pipe? What are you talking about? What, you got your shit pipe running through the bud? Shit pipe, I don't know what that means. No, I got fishing line. Just mono fishing line holding it up. I'm holding up that one over there that pretty much holds up a few other ones. Other than that, I'm just going to let them dangle. Fuck it. All in all, for the crab, I mean, they're tight little nugs. Tight little bud. And funky. I mean, the terps are whew, and sticky. This is the one that took the hardest hit here. This is the OK Calyx's Orangeline. Very terpy. Just looks like shit. Stress galore. I ain't worried about this run. All this will be gone in 20 days, 25 days, you know what I mean? We'll start all over again. Start all over again. I got strong winds. Look. They're blowing. They're blowing. Got another one over there on the wall. Yep, see? Blowing. Blowing. See him blowing in the wind? You get plenty of air. Plenty of air. What the fuck is that doing? Oh yeah, how the hell am I going to get this out of here? I don't know if it's going to happen by myself. Although I might be able to get it, remove this. But if I need to sweep that up. Sorry about that. Hold on a second. I'm trying to get this stand here to open up. I'm gonna leave you here just for a second. So, I think so all I'm doing is I'm going to try and pull this past this. I'm zoomed out all the way. Yep. Trying to get this past here. don't know if it's gonna fit past this. That's my problem. This is my problem right here. Don't know if I can get the door open up far enough to get that because of this wall here. I might need help getting it up, picking it up, and then going out. But you think we can do this one-handed? I seriously doubt it. See, that's a lot. But if set this fucking phone down. Something in there. Yeah, get you some of that. Now get this back. This wall here. Yeah. Check out what somebody sent me. We got to get some grass first, but as soon as we do. We get some grass. We're gonna be cutting it. Pulse just alerted me that my CO2 is normal. I bet it is, bitch. I'm in here breathing like some bitch, sweating like a pig on Christmas. Whew. Alright, that was fun. Now, I can get this out of here. Now we can rearrange stuff again. That's basically all I'm doing is moving point A, point B 10 times. For the umpteenth time. But we're getting there. We are getting there. Let's not even play with that. Sit right there, you know? There's a microphone I can't get to work. Let's set this over here for now. And this table here. I'd like to see that kind of thing. Soil tents.
gotta get this out of here today. I got all this room over here. It's just shit in it. I don't know what it is. You ain't got shit everywhere. You ain't doing it right. My granddad would tell me, the garage don't look like shit. You ain't ever in it. I try and keep it as tidy as I can, but it's tough when you're in construction. It's got so cold this year, I had to bring in that extra little heater. It's time for this to go. This is the spectrum sheet. So you can set. So right now, I'm on cool blue only. So let's see here. I think it's see, this is 100 cool white, 30 warm white, 0, 0. So this is close, but I'm actually lower than I don't even have the warm white on. So I probably could turn it on. Yeah, this is the this is what I was doing to my shit. So here it is. There's 100, 0, 0, 0. So this is just cool white. This is what it is. So there's still, you know, greens and yellows and all that's still there. It's just at a very low, very low. Or you can bump it up where you lower the, this is 65, cool white, 100, warm white, 60, 40. So that these are just recipes. They give you like 60 different recipes. That's why I have week 1 here, and then week 2, I think this is for veg. Week 2 would be adding 20 to the warm white. Just brings it up a little bit. So, yeah. And you can do whatever the hell you want. That's cool. Yeah. See that, Mark? Did you see my cat-like reflexes? Yeah, got you. Got you, moth. No moths allowed. That's why I leave these spider webs around here. Spider webs are great moth catchers. I wonder if we can get the wheel out. We can get this out. Oh, we can't flip and turn this. Point A to point B. Do the junk shuffle. Shuffle junk around the... Don't need all this. I don't need all this. Power cord, get all the extras, get all the hanging. I didn't even use the hangers this time. And all the extra cords. Love these though. It's extra hangers. Extra hangers. Yeah. There we go.
Need to get me some meta glasses. Who's gonna send me some meta glasses? Who's the rich guy, girl out there who's gonna send me some meta glasses? I don't have to carry around this stick. Come on now. Come on over here. Should roll it down a damn hill. That'll be fun. Pile it up. Let's pile it up somewhere other than in here. How about that? That's it. That's what I call it. That's my business name. Junk Shuffle Logistics. Shuffle it to another junk pile. We got a few. See this one? Look at that junk pile. Impressive. Impressive, I think. I think it's impressive. This heater is going to go back in the house with all the other. Got a good attic space for all my new junk. Yeah. Almost time for a bomb hit. Gosh, yeah. I don't know if I'm that bad, but if I ran a junk pile, I would. This is a 30-gallon. Excuse me. This is just a 30-gallon grassroots on wheels. That I let go. Needs to be redone. That's what I'll do. Do it. Whee! That's kind of a light. You wouldn't believe how hard it was to get light. Stop and come through that door. That's why I said I need a new door. I fought that damn door for light till the Gorilla Tape ran out. Oh yeah, you gotta have a semi-organized code. But see, you know, I'm the only person who knows where everything is. You know what I mean? That's the cool part about it. Somebody comes in here looking for something, they're not going to find it. And that's by design. All my tools that we were using, I'm going to take all these out. That's my pump. See, if you want to get a pump, this was the first design. This was the original design for the... So this pump here has a switch on the back. So when water hits that switch, it turns on. So we'll set this pump down in the trap hole, run a hose up into the pond, and then boom, whenever the water gets to a certain point, it just kicks on, pumps water back into the pond. Simple. But turns out the sand and silt was a good enough valve for us to be able to turn on the water on and off as we need it to see fit. So turns out we really didn't need that pump. I mean, we probably use it, you know. I mean, what's the point of bringing out the pump? I just take the shot back out a little bit, need be, but the pump really doesn't need to be there.
Look at that fucking disaster. Let's do something about the line. Need that line for that power, so that's why I have enough cord to go up and over. And I think that's what I'll probably need to do. Granddad's old scales there. You'd be fucking weighing pounds, bitches. Weigh a few tomatoes in this jewel. Oops. Set it down there. There we go. There's the old broken circuit breaker. That way. What we got running over here? We just got the fan. We got pulse meter. We got this. Those things. So really, there's nothing here. We can't just disconnect for a second. So, already, look at the moth. It's a moth trap if I've ever seen one. Fan pulls them in, kills them, traps them down there. Moth trap. That's nice, huh? This has been in here. I've moved this thing around more times than you could ever imagine. For some reason, I can't take it outside. The golf cart crossing. Wipe that off. But first, I'm not going to let our ADHD get us off of this task at hand. This is just my light chart where I'm dealing with my lights. Added purple non-sulfur bacteria. What was that? 14 days, 15 days ago. Y'all get a good shot of the ceiling. Of course you are. Of course.
You gotta always wrap your cords in freaking and Gorilla tape or duct tape. Don't forget to do that. Don't ask me why. Alright, fix that a little bit. That looks a lot better than the cord all over there. Yeah. Alright. Got all that fucking space. I can do fucking jumping jacks over here now. You know what I mean? What's up, crazy? We're doing good, man. You see it, man. It's a little bit of cleaning, you know, moving shit around. Trying to get decent for the in-laws. You know. One-handed broom action here. Pulse meter hitting me in the head. Yeah, we need to do more than just sweep over here. I need some help. We need some help. I wish I'd never put this floor down, I'll tell you that. That's one mistake there. Well, it kind of wasn't a mistake. I didn't know I was going to be doing freaking waterfalls and fucking ponds and shit in my garage when I put the floor down. So I can't really blame myself for that. But $4,000 down the tube, pretty much. But we, we do our best. We do our best. Just getting the big stuff up for now, and we can bring the old mop in here maybe a little bit, disinfect that floor over there a little bit, just because we've had, as you can see, water issues before. We don't want no bullshit growing. So you get Vibro Clean, natural disinfectant, neutral disinfectant. This is what they use. It's the blue stuff you put the hair stylist or put your shears in. Yeah. Watch this. Fuck jeans.
this? Need something coarse. Get that shit on there. Look better than the broom. And have the pulse meter hit you in the head. Let's use this one. Nasty. There's that pulse meter again. Just a minute, I'll get smart enough to just move it on over the way. Hold on. There you go. I have this here. Ain't gotta be perfect. Just gotta be my standards, that's all. But you know, ain't extremely high when it comes to fucking floors. This is an open door facility. We're not trying to stop the critters, just trying to mitigate, trying to keep everything in balance, you know what I mean? Can't let one thing get out of hand. It's that spot from that damn palm shield on it. I'm gonna have to get a scraper for that. Gonna need a scraper. Get all that up.
Alright. Now we got nasty rag, nasty broom. Take nasty rag, nasty broom. Tend ourselves in here. Good job. Oh yeah, awesome orange, yeah. Yeah, I got some. I don't have any awesome orange, but the scraper will take that off too. Whew. I'm hungry. Of course, I'm always hungry. So that's what my wife would tell me. Debating. I don't know what I want to do with this. I really love the fan being on it. I need to wipe it off. Shit. Oh, I gotta take the cover off. I think it's like perfect height for the fan. And also that table's pretty good, but it's a little shorter than this. That's why I was using this. I think here, cover up this. We can point that fan towards kind of the middle. Hold on. See that? More stuff on it. You can get more on it too. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Nasty. Definitely need to take this outside, but got my wet rag right here, so catching most of that dust. You know what? Yeah, let's take this outside. It's too much. Easy to do. Use the hose. We got buds in here, and we don't want a fucking dust storm. Yeah. Yeah.
Freaking hot outside. What the hell happened? So, I'm thinking, I don't know what about. It's another spot for spider webs. Come on in then. Look up. Look at my office. Push this back. Kind of hide those cords. It's okay right there. This. Okay. That'll be alright. And then we're going to do something with this. So I was thinking somewhere around in there maybe, where nobody can fuck with it but me. Or just leave it right there where nobody can fuck with it but me. But I'd like to organize this a little bit better. At least get it out of here. There we go. Looks a little better. Looks a little better. Track there. All right. Now I just need a scraper for that. We'll take care of that later. Might put a little white plastic for that down there. We got our sign up. You notice that we got the white plastic over the thing there. We took that out. Huh? Come on, man. APSUsoil.com. Get you some. Help us out a little bit. I'm sweating over here. I figured that would be under that. I just hung that over here. Just thinking maybe just put that right behind that, like that. Run that up there, set that on that shelf. Get this fan right here over here. But I only have this over there for the concrete drying. Normally I'm going to have it right here in this corner to help this flow over here. We got this power source here, Put it right there.
Jesus, this thing. We got our phone cords here. We got our everything that needs power over here. Set this over here. We can now get through there without no bullshit. Got this bunks. Not bad for an hour and 30 minutes, huh? Of course, we don't want to look, we don't want to look out here. We don't pay no attention down here. Just look away for a second. I gotta clean that real quick. This is gonna go. Probably should go over here with the golf cart, huh? Looks good. Pay no attention to that. We're just hiding our. That's where we had our mud mixing machine here. This is the white plastic we got. Yeah, we got weed growing. Shit. We got lots of weed growing. 4 to be exact. 4 plants. Man, look at all that space. Holy shit. Look at all this shit in my space. We'll tackle that another time. Yeah, we opened her up. Definitely. I knew I had more room. I just had to get the shit out of here. I'm gonna set y'all down here for just a second. I'm gonna sip aqua. Alright, now I got a flat spot to sit you guys down on anyway, huh? Look at that. Shit. Anywhere you want to go. Clean glasses real quick. We'll go over here and check on, yeah, the water's cleaning up nice, man. You can see the pump now. If this is the water we were talking about. This one over here is crystal clear. This is what a year and a half looks, but really, we crashed it just 3 weeks ago. So, you see those two are way over there. So the pond, and somebody asked me the other day, was how big was the pond? The pond is like 6 feet long, and then from over there to over here, I think is like 3.5-ish. I think over there is like 2.5-ish, and it's 22 inches deep. with about 4 or 5 inches of pea and sand at the bottom. About 150 to 170 gallons, depending on how much. I can put a lot more water in here. I have probably 6 inches of height left. I could do more water, but no need in it. Usually come up to that water line right there. You see on the log there, we're right at it almost. So yeah, let's see if our Monstero's grown any since we started. Oh yeah, guaranteed. That thing doesn't stop growing. This thing is going to be beautiful. That's going to be a awesome leaf, just like this one is. Look at that. That's 3 feet of Monstera. I've never personally grown one or seen one that, like indoors, this big. I've seen them outdoors real big, but indoors, this thing is loving the terrestrial side and the aquatic side. Even though the roots get eaten by the turtles, you can see the root right there, actually sitting on cooter there. But they just eat the algae that grows on the. And that's what they look like going in. Nice and thick, and then when the turtles get done stripping them, it doesn't seem to hurt it. Yeah, right here, the bask right here. You come right up that log there and bask right on this rock right here. And then they can come over into here and go under this rock here. This is Marco's Pass. So they can come in from under here and enter here, and eventually they'll be able to come right on up this here. This rock moves. We're just holding the soil there. So we'll bring soil all the way up to here and then angle it down. They'll just be able to walk right on up in here, come into here. We'll block this off to where they can't come into the creek and then come down, drop down in the hole or get out. We don't want them getting out. So we want them confined into here. We don't want them falling out on the floor and breaking a shell. But yeah, Scooter has gotten out. We had a hole over there. We had them. When we first started this thing, there was a. You can see that rock that I placed right there. It doesn't have anything around it. It's just sitting there. That bed out to the back, and he somehow, or she, got out and ended up on the back floor back there. That is on my Instagram, but you got to go back to like day, I don't know, 300 and something. But ended up back behind the rock wall back there, behind the dehumidifier. So I just clogged that up and decided not to put the shelf over there. We decided to put the shelf over here and just bring it. And then we built this whole new addition for digger. And when I built the new addition, that's when we added the basking area. We were going to use the basking area over there, but just decided to go ahead and build Digger's new spot when he showed up. So we moved the basking area over here. And yeah, it's going to be nothing but fish over here. We're going to do bluegill and crappie. That's what I catch down here off in my land here. You know, the reservoir is good crappie and some sunfish or bluegill, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, let me check out how high will you take the water level with the new pump. We can go all the way up to that post there, but what you see right here is pretty close to what we need. I mean, we don't need to go much higher. We don't, we're only about 4 inches down from the top here. So that looks like a good, maybe, you know, you can go a little more than that there, but we don't need much more. That's probably 120 gallons right there, 130 gallons, something like that, if not more. That's 6 feet by what, 3, I think it was. I forget. Two, yeah, it's 2 feet. So, plenty of water for crappie and bluegill. Plus, you know, once the water clears up, we'll bring in some logs. Everything that we bring in is going to raise the water table, you know. So we're going to bring in reservoir logs and different things for fish to hide in. You know, we're going to be planting grass. So we've got this grass, we transplant it. And then we also transplant this piece. We don't know if this is going to make it or not, but it might. So that type of grass there, which is over there, we're just going to transplant that over into here. What kind of cannabis plant? The kind the medicated kind. This is Luna. This is a lunar cheese from Luna Whitcomb. I've got orange lean from OK Calyx, and then these are raspberry deadheads from Luna Whitcomb, Luna all day on Instagram. And yeah, we are just letting them dangle. I got a couple of lines up on the big girl over there, but the rest of them are just dangling. we're free balling, so to speak. Hey, what's up? What's up, Keith? It's all about the biology. Thank you, man. Yeah, it's been a fun little experiment. I guess we can get this out of here, man. Sitting there staring at it like, why is that there? We got a new spot, place junk. Junk spot, we got a new junk spot. So we can just transfer, once again, we can just transfer junk from one spot to the other. That's how it works. Up in here. There, these things, it's a water meter and just thermostats for my compost, my IMO, so we can make sure we don't go over 120. You know what I mean? Don't need. At least we can walk through here now. Yay! I was going to feed. ADHD got kicked in. Let's feed a little bit. Haven't fed pellets, and they eat algae, and I throw worms in there and isopods in there. Black soldier flies, I see them flying around in there. They fall in, they get eaten, but every once in a while we throw in some pellets, especially for Pooter. Pooter needs to eat. Where is Pooter? Oh, there. Look at these fools. Don't you come over here eating everything. Where did Pooter go? I don't even see. See Plinko. She's hiding somewhere back there. I'll throw some over there just in case.
There's some back over there. Oh, there she is. Get some, yeah. Yeah, water cleaned up real nice. Real nice. That's cyanobacteria really just, the labs, purple non-sulfur, the microbes plus from Brandon Russ, all these things contributed. Although we didn't put microbes plus in here until just like a couple of days ago. It was pretty clean then. The purple non-sulfur bacteria in the lab, the microbes plus is just another additive, just diversity. Diversity is key, and it will stay crystal clear. Even with 2 turtles and a big ass goldfish, these things put out a lot of poo. This is one reason why we don't feed every day. They still crap every day, even though we don't feed every day. They're eating algae, they're eating all these different things. We got a plinko. There's plinko. How big he's got. Get out of the way, Stu. Yeah. Yeah, he was baby when we put him in. Baby. We got a couple mollies there, but yeah, that's it. Everything's looking pretty good. Pretty good. I do say so myself. Having crashed the system 3 weeks ago, I'm pretty happy. Pretty happy. Brought in with kind of a little stick out in the woods. I thought it looked like a Viking helmet. Got that moss on it though. So I wanted to stick this, feel the moisture already. Got some mycelium on it. So I'm just stuck it over here so I can absorb some of that drip there. And it'll run down in there. The water will hit that stick, run down. Give us a little moisture. We got a drip zone right here. That's the splash zone where the water is just splashing. Stay wet. Stay moist. Plants will find that. We may end up wicking a little bit up through here, wet this up. This stuff needs some moisture. But all we gotta do is add a little sand, silt right here, and it'll wick. Speaking of that, let's take a little from here. This is a little too dry. You can see I put a little grass right there. So you need that key to hold it there. And all this has to do is touch. I need to build us up a little. Oops, sorry. Build us up a little pea mound.
pea mound. And then we connect sand and silt. And Ricky will commence. Now, I guarantee you, all of that will get moisture. And then we'll transfer that moisture down into there. Just need a little bit of this. You got a beeline of water to that grass now, so that will stay moist. And that's all we need. That will just wick water right on up into there, and the roots will find it. It'll spread out all through here. The soil will wick it up. Perfect. Got a heater coming too. Really, it's only gonna take. I mean, really, I don't know if I need a heater, to be honest with you. I bought one, just a little cheapo. I think it was 300 watt. I think. I have one over here, but it's set at 74 degrees. But that's, I mean, the temperature of the pond usually stays about ambient, you know, whatever temperature it is in here, which right now I think it's like 77, 78, something like that. Humidity's around 64, 65. That's one thing I'm looking, oh, here it is. Yeah, 78 degrees. And that's back here away from that. So you have your pump action salt rifle. It's got Epsom salt in it. I can blast that anywhere. If you don't know what Epsom salt is, it's salt for your plants. Epsom salt corrects yellowing plant nutrition caused from magnesium or sulfur deficiencies. So we did not have a deficiency. We had a oxygen problem. We just used this if we need a foliar feed to supplement while we were in our crash. You know what I mean? Because the plant couldn't take it up by the roots, so we foliar feed it to them. If need be. Alright, we don't need those anymore. We're not going to need this stuff anymore in here. Take this. And that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit more shuffling some shit around, and we're pretty much done for today. Mission accomplished. We got our banner hung, apsusoil.com, sponsoring the grow. Got all kinds of good soil, super soil, living soil, bioactive soil, soil for reptiles, soil for cactuses, soil for specific plants. I mean, he's got it all. So go check that out. He'll be helping us out a little bit just by visiting the website. There's no discount code, none of that crap. Just he's just sponsoring. He likes the concept, and now that we're growing food, that's what he usually does. But he also loves to grow the cannabis as well. He's got his own seed line as well, so we may grow some of his seeds on the next run. See what we get. And also next Thursday at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard, Yellow Skunk Farms is going to be presenting Soil Discoveries, a new podcast with me and Mo from I Grow Soil. So me and Mo from I Grow Soil are going to be looking at the microscope. So we're going to be tearing into some soil, like seeing what makes things actually work. You know, watching the life in the soil cycle nutrients, and just discuss all different types of things, living soil, and all about biology, and the grow here, and grows everywhere. And it's really pushing the natural way of farming, not just with cannabis, but with all life, all plants. You know, we can get people into this growing all plants, not just one particular one. You learn so much more. I mean, I love cannabis. It's my number one, no doubt about it. But when I got into, all these other things, like the cover crops and just the vast array of different things, and how all these things work and connect to Mother Nature, and what this biology means down here in the soil, and versus like the light and the power, the push and power everything, really. I mean, you think about it, nothing happens in here without that light. That's the power source, and those wavelengths are way more beneficial and destructive all at the same time, especially when you're dealing with multiple layers of biology. When you bring in the creek and the pond, and some things don't work well with other, some things like a lot of light, some things don't like a lot of light. Some things like to stay hidden, some things don't. So we're trying to build something that has a home for everything. And I think we're close. This garden is going to be based on food. We're going to be able to fish and pick our vegetables all year round. We'll take the fish to the grill, take the vegetables to the grill them up, and we can be able to pretty much, hopefully, everything we need to put on the plate to sustain a good diet can come from here. Other than the meat, of course. But, well, we got fish, so that's the meat. Grow nutrient-dense food, nutrient-dense body. You'll be feeling good. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody hanging out with me today. We're going to hit the road because other shows are starting. So I know Growing Old's running, and Fresh Princess is running, a bunch of people are running right now. So yeah, some fruit tree, that'd be a hoot. Maybe a small orange tree. That would be tough. But yeah, anyway, I appreciate everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. So check us out tomorrow. Peace.